Hello, everyone. We're back.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Yes,
What's today's date? Today's the 21st.
21st of
And
February.
That's right. And we are back for part two of the
Yes.
5 love languages. And we're going to talk about the second love language. And we hope that you will enjoy this discussion.
Yes, and we're so excited to have you. I'm going to ask everyone as soon as you join in to share the live. We're going to wait probably a couple of seconds to invite people. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to invite people to come and join this live. So let's wait a couple of seconds. We're gonna share the live, inviting people to join us as we're gonna start the new series. Sorry, we already started, but it's gonna be part two of the 5 love languages. And last week we had the blast. We spoke about the word of affirmation, and it was great. Like we said, this month we want to dedicate it for family and couple, and we want to talk about love. Last week it was Valentine's Day. Just a FYI, we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. We just wanted to. For us, Valentine's Day is every day. That's what we were saying to ourselves. So it's every single day. So the word of affirmation from last week was powerful, and I'm gonna ask First Lady to do a small, quick review and tell us what was the word of affirmation. What did we share with the people while we are sharing this?
Well, words of affirmation, what we discussed last time, one thing that I remember in particular was verbal compliments
Yes.
and words of appreciation. So, for little things, your spouse made the dishes, or your spouse, I don't know, did the laundry. For little things, just appreciate your spouse. Let them know uh, that what they did, you have noticed.
Yes.
And verbal compliments, every so often, just give praise to your spouse. And it's not just, the man giving praise to the woman, but it can be also vice versa.
Yes.
So, the person is nicely dressed. You give that compliment. You say, "Oh, you look good. Oh, you smell good. You look sharp." Things like that. It just, brings confidence to the person.
Exactly. So those words will encourage people. It will, especially as a couple, it will encourage your husband or your wife. So word of affirmation is something that is extremely important, and this is why today we want to take the time. We're going to share again. We're going to go to our part two of the love languages, and we want to say hi to Michael, our friend, and he is with us in the ministry. So today we're back again to the 5 love languages.
Yes.
And today we're going to talk about something specific, and uh, that that subject that we're going to talk, it's about quality time.
Yes, quality time. Yes.
Quality time with your spouse, quality time with your husband, quality time with your wife, and quality time with your children too.
That's right.
You have to spend time with your children. You have to spend time with your wife. And when we say spending time, we don't mean to like in nowadays and today's age. When we say quality time, it's everybody has his cell phone, like here, and she has a cell phone, or she has a laptop, she has her own laptop, and then we are all together and we just, it's not quality time. It's mean everybody is on device. So when we say quality time, it's to remove every single device, everything, every form of distraction needs to be removed. The same thing, like let's take a further step. When you want to spend time with God, what do? We remove all distraction. We remove the cell phones. We remove We even turn off our cell phone if we really want to spend time with God and seek His face. That's what we do as Christian. Is we do spend time with God. So if you do spend time with God that way, why not spend the time with your wife, or let's say with your spouse? Quality time is extremely important in a relationship.
Yes.
Either way, it's your husband or your wife or your children, you have to spend quality time with them. And I'm going to let First Lady go ahead and share her thoughts, and we're going to have interaction. People, if you want to say something to us, go ahead, and we're going to interact with you too. This is, it's not really a preaching, it's a conversation and teaching at the same time about the subject of the 5 love languages.
So quality time, notice that they didn't just say, okay, spend time together. No, the fact that there's the adjective before time, like quality times, it means that when you spend the time with your significant other,
Yeah.
your spouse, it means that you have to remove, like my husband said, all distractions. So undivided attention. So if you have to shut down the TV, turn off your cell phone, and just give focused time with your spouse, right? So it could be just taking a walk together. It could be going out to eat and just talking to each other and just sharing,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's what it is. So when you spend time with your wife, you like what First Lady said, you have to remove all sort of distraction.
Yes.
It's having the time to have an eye-to-eye contact with your wife. Sometimes you just need to look at her. I know it sounds funny, but that's the way it is. It's you spend time with your wife or your husband. It's really to remove all distraction from from around you. And what happened is this type of quality time is a type of languages. And some couples, even though you say word of affirmation, it might not be the languages. Quality time will be the love languages.
Yes.
So that's me. Let's take an example with my wife and I. Like we said, we're gonna use our own as an example. Is when my wife wants to really spend time with me, especially when we eat. Listen, she doesn't want no cell phone on the table. No cell phone, no computer. Everything needs to be put away. Listen, we have laptops. And sometimes the laptop is on the table. So when the time comes to eat, she want to spend time and doing communication. So what she does is she spend time, she asked me to remove every single of distraction. This is how you want to spend quality time, because what happened is she wants to talk about the day. Men, listen, if your wife tells you to turn off everything, to turn off every single cell phone, your Telegram, your WhatsApp, your Facebook, your TikTok, your Instagram, whatever is on your cell phone, on your tablet, or whatever it is, when your wife asks you, please, can you spend time with me? Men, listen to me. You have to listen to her, because she wants to talk to you about her day.
Yes.
She wants to take the time to tell you how it went. This is how it works. And sometimes what I do with my wife when she has a busy day, well, before COVID, what we used to do is when she comes home, I greet her, because sometimes I come home early. That was back then. Now, last year when I was working, I was the one coming home late because I was working in the afternoon. But what I do is I make sure I spend 10 minutes with my wife, or 15 minutes to 20 minutes to listen to her. And because I want to hear how was her day, because that's the type of quality time. Because sometimes we are so extremely busy with life. Some people are working even 2 or 3 jobs, and they don't find the time to spend time with their wife.
Yes.
And let me tell you something. A good example is, if you spend so much time like this with your, let's say you're at work, and you're so much focused on your work because you want to go up to the ladder, and usually when you do those type of work, the workplace give you much more work to do. it gives you more job to do and you become overload. But what will end up happening is your wife will not be happy. Or vice versa. Let's put it to the men too. Sometimes women wants to go up to the ladder and they don't have time to spend with their wife because of the workplace, because they're so busy. Listen, it's okay to take a day off and to shut down everything. And usually not even only a day off, you are supposed, when you come home, that's why this is my personal preference. This is why I always tell my wife I don't want her to work over. Let's say if her work finish at 4:30, it says she has to stay over. After 5 o'clock, she will come home, and I know it's over because I remember she used to work in another place, and there was a week it was she has to pick up phone calls after hours, and I had to tell her, listen, babe, I don't like that. You know, when you're home, you're home. So I know it all depends with who's your boss, who's your employer, and everything. But me personally, I think it's always good when you come home. When you come home, it's time to spend time with the family. It's time to focus on your wife, on your kids, and ask them how was your day and everything. I don't know if you want to say something else.
So for anyone that's joining us today, we're talking about the 5 love languages.
Yes.
And last week we spoke about the words of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're talking about quality time.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why there's 5 languages is, like the author noticed over the years that these were the main languages when it comes to relationships. And in this instance, we're talking about couples, married couples. So this is what he noticed. And if someone has a love language of quality time and you offer them words of affirmation, it's not going to mean anything to them.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we want to make sure, and that's why we put the quiz online on our page. So when you have time, just go do the quiz and so you will know and you will be able to just, I want to say, give the right service to your husband or your wife.
Yeah.
But like you'll be able to communicate, like you will be smooth,
Yeah.
You if the person is quality time, you give her quality time. Don't give her anything else, quality time.
Yes, it's true.
Exactly.
It's true. Let me tell you something. Like my wife and I, like I told you last week, my love languages was touch, personal touch. I love when my wife, start to touch my hand and everything.
Physical touch.
Physical touch. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Physical touch. I love the physical touch. That's my love languages. Listen, if I want my wife, if my wife wants me to do something, she knows how to get me. Let me tell you, she knows how. First, what she will do is she will come to me and she said, "Oh, give me a hug." I'm like, "Why? What for? Like, why? What do you want me to give you a hug? Give me a hug." So that's the way she started because she knows my love languages. And for my wife, it's services. That's how it works. She loves when your husband do help her. And so the thing, but we want to make sure we talk about quality time.
Right.
Like First Lady said, you need to take the test. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put the test. We're gonna pin the test on our page, so you can go do it. We want to encourage everyone. If you're a couple, even if you've been married for 50 years, 20 years, 10 years, 3 years, 6 months, 2 months, a month ago. We want to encourage everyone to take the test. Listen, if you do the test, you will find out what's your love languages. And let me tell you, listen, we don't want to tell you that it will be the solution or the resolution of your problems. Listen, you have to go meet a pastor and sit down and get counsel. You have to go to counseling. But let me tell you something. This book, it really helped us a lot to understand our marriage. And that's why today we wanted to take the time to share this with you. The second part of it, I'm going to let First Lady go on. What's the second one?
So the second one will be focus attention.
Mm-hmm.
So focus attention, basically what it means is just I think it's related a bit to what we said before, to remove any distractions. So
Mhm.
it's not just about, being in the same room as someone and you say, oh yeah, yeah, you have my attention. No, focus attention means removing all distractions,
Mhm.
and it doesn't necessarily means that we have, to stare into each other's eyes, but it's just, like, means like we're together,
Mhm.
I'm paying attention to what you're saying,
Mhm.
you paying attention to what you're saying,
Mhm.
I'm saying something, you are
Mhm.
engaging, like there's active listening,
Yes.
active sharing, like
Yes.
they're both engaged in the conversation.
Exactly. And one of the things that we need to mention is we need to be a good listener too.
Mhm.
During the focused attention, we need to focus ourselves. Yes, it is true that we're gonna listen. There's gonna be a conversation, but you need to be focused. You need to have the full attention to your spouse. If your
Mhm.
spouse speak about something, you need to listen to her carefully, because
Mhm.
what happened is we can get so distracted when we listen when we don't listen. It does happen, and let me tell you something. When your spouse see that you don't listen,
Yeah.
oh my God, you will be ready for this. I don't want to say the Second World War, but let me tell you, you're gonna argue because she said, you don't listen when I'm talking to you. This is the thing that's gonna happen with when you don't really pay attention. So it is extremely. And another thing too, don't overanalyze everything. Make sure you pay attention and try to understand where she's coming from,
Yes.
because what the spouse wants to do, with the husband or the wife, they want to explain a situation, or they wanted to how I can say that, I want to use the proper word. They want to release themselves, because something happened. Probably something happened to them during the day. Probably something happened to them during at work, and this is a good time to take the time to listen to your husband and to your wife.
Yes.
Focus attention means not only to stare at the person, but to focus and to listen, pay attention to what they're saying, and then you know what's gonna happen. Yes,
Exactly.
yeah, exactly. All right. The second part we want to touch into is quality conversation.
Yes.
Oh my God. Quality conversation. Listen, in the quality time, there's focused attention and there's quality conversation. So I'm gonna let First Lady go ahead and do the teaching.
All right. So quality conversation. And I think, women in general, we don't have difficulty expressing ourselves. Most of the time, it will be men that they don't really know how to express themselves emotionally, how to be vulnerable. So when we talk about quality conversation, it's really like going deep, right? So
Mhm.
emotionally, talk about your experiences, your feelings, your thoughts, your desires, your dreams. So all of that, plays an important part in having quality conversation, because we don't want to just have random conversation, or
Yeah.
conversation that
Mhm.
that goes nowhere. Like we
Mhm.
want quality conversation.
Yeah. And one thing that you mentioned that we need to, men, listen, men, we don't love to talk at all. Listen, sometimes, how do you feel about me? Do you think I love to talk, or I talk too
Yeah,
much?
yeah. I think you love to talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't talk too much, right?
No.
Okay, good. I have to make sure. So, quality quality conversation means that men, we need to open, and we've been they always we always have that picture of man is a strong person. Man doesn't talk. If they talk, they say a few words. It's okay to open up to your wife,
Yes.
because she's your best friend, and that's how you're supposed to do, is to open up to her and to listen not to listen to her, but to speak to her and tell how do you feel
Yes.
about certain things. And men, we love to keep everything inside. And let me tell you something, when you keep everything inside of you, it hurts a lot. And afterwards, like, let's say you get into an argument with your spouse or your wife, and then what happened is your wife is going to tell you, but
I didn't know you had those all those feelings.
Yes.
What did you say so? But I told you, no, you didn't. But yes, I did. And you know, when you have those type of conversation, this is what happened in most of the marriage. You need to talk to your spouse, and it goes to with your children. You need to have quality conversation with your children.
Yes.
You need to sit down with them, take a chair, play with them, focus on your children. Sometimes your wife may be busy to cook some food, but what you will do is to sit down and have a conversation with your kid and asking your kid, how was your day? What's happening in school? I know kids don't love to talk, but one of the things that you have to find out is to build that trust with your kid. And one of the things that you have to do is to start early. Start early. You have to start early. And I was reading in the book, it says that when you start really at an early age having conversation with your kids, let's say around 6-7 years old,
Yes.
by the time they grow, they will be able to talk to you or have a conversation. And sometimes it's not after they reach 18 years old that's when you have conversation. No, it has to start right away. You need to have a deep dialogue with them. You need to talk with them, talk about everything. Tell them what's going on in school, what's happening with someone bullied your kid at school. You need to have a quality conversation with your kids, not only to help them build their future, but to help them out right away. Because let me tell you something, kids are going through a lot nowadays.
So I think one thing also we need to clarify is that when maybe the wife says to the husband, oh, like when they complain and say something like, oh, he never speaks to me, or they don't talk, doesn't mean that they don't have like
A conversation.
they don't say a word. It basically means that they don't really take the time to express their feelings and their emotions. So that's what it means, right?
Yes.
So when someone says, oh, my husband doesn't talk to me, yeah, they can talk. Maybe they can talk about sport. They can talk about, like food. They can talk about a bunch of things. But when it comes to real conversations with emotions and feelings and what do you think of this, your opinion, how you see the future, your dreams, your goals, your aspiration, then they don't see anything.
Exactly. So to me, what First Lady said, it is true. It is extremely important to spend time with and have those type of conversation. And sometimes it's good to talk about food. I don't know.
Yeah.
You talk about food or sports. Your husband loves to talk about sport, and then how you introduce something is while you have a conversation, you can bring up so many conversation, and this is how you have quality conversation. And I want to share something that we do, my wife and I, we do when we want to have a quality conversation with quality time is we say to ourselves probably, okay, this Tuesday at 9 o'clock, we're going to have a sit down and we're going to talk. We want to talk about how was the last couple weeks, how was the last few months. So this is how we start. We start to have our quality conversation. This is how we talk with our spouse.
Yes.
People of God. Come on, people of God. Okay. Pierre Louis says, man, marriage is tough.
Yes, it is.
It is tough. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. It is tough. Let me tell you something, bro. There's no marriage. Marriage is not easy. It is not easy because you marry someone is different from you. You have your own quality and you have your own, how do you say that again? Default in English.
Your own faults.
Yeah, you're not a flawless person. Like we say in French, avec des défauts. Everybody has issues. Listen, when you come together, it's you bring everything together. And this is where you have to compromise. The word compromise comes into play.
Yes.
And listen, we're going to go to 16 years. And let me tell you something. At the beginning of when we got married, listen, we were cats and dogs. We were having arguments every time because there were certain things that she didn't like. There was other thing I didn't like with her. There was something that she did. What she did is She was going to sleep to, she said, I want to go sleep to my sister's house. But I didn't grow up like this. You know, I grew up to stay in my own house. You know, us as Haitian people, our parents, you know, we grew to a certain way. My wife grew to another way. And when we got together, we clashed and we started to understand each other, how it is important for her to go meet our family, how it is important for me to go meet my family, how it is important for her to go to sleep at her sister's house. You know, all those type of things,
Yeah.
or even going to sleep to her cousin's house. I didn't grow up like this, but this is how you have to compromise. Listen, let me tell you, after 16 years, I'm telling you, it's not easy.
No.
Is it worth it? Yes, it is worth it.
Yes.
100%. I love my wife till death do us apart. We took a commitment when we were at the altar, when we exchanged our vows, and we said, until death do us apart, in sickness, in happiness,
Yes.
all the package.
Yes.
We sign up for this. This is what happened when you marry someone. You sign up for the whole package,
Yes.
because this is what's gonna happen. And that's why I encourage everyone. That's what I said. If you're at church and you're planning to marry someone, make sure you go do counseling with your pastor.
Yes.
Listen, when you're about to get married, make sure you have those at least 3 to 4 months counseling, because you're going to learn a lot of stuff. And let me tell you, it will help you, but it's really after the marriage, that's how you're going to discover who your wife is.
Yes.
So I hope I answered your question, Pierre-Louis. Jose, my friend from Toronto, blessings to you. So the second part is, and I think that will be the last one.
Yes.
Because we don't want it to make it too long today. So we want to make sure we do a good half an hour to 45 minutes. We want to talk about quality activities.
Yes.
Oh my God, quality activities. Okay, I'm going to let First Lady go ahead with these quality activities, because we're going to have some good conversation about this.
So quality activities, it's pretty straightforward. It's about, choosing an activity where you and your spouse will be having a good time,
Mhm.
right? So, as long as you have these three things. So at least one of you wants to do it,
Mhm.
and then the other one is willing to do it or is willing to try. Let's say you never been to bowling before. Maybe someone say, okay, let's go bowling. And the other one says, well, I don't know how to bowl. It's okay. We're going to go and try and have fun. Or it could be that, an expression of love. Maybe you want to go to the museum and you want to just, spend time, quality activities. So there's so many endless activities that you can do.
Yes,
and
true.
it can be also as simple as, let's go and take a walk around the neighborhood, or just let's go work out together,
Or
right?
go to the park.
Yeah, go to the park.
That's what I do with my wife.
Yeah.
Even though those mosquitoes come and bite me at the end, but that's what we do. And that's why I think when it comes to, especially to Christian people, is we tend, let me talk something about here. Especially when we become pastors. Listen, we're just being ordained as pastors. I'm the senior pastor of Kingdom Revival Ministry, or Kingdom Revival Church, and my wife is a minister. And one of the things that we like other people who went before us told us is, make sure you always do something with your spouse. What it means is, do not neglect your relationship with your wife.
Yes.
It is extremely important, because when you plan a church, most of the time what you're going to do is you're going to focus so much in planning the church, because planting your church is starting from scratch, starting from nothing. And what happened is you have to spend most of your time getting everything in order.
Yes.
You have to build your core group. You have to evangelize. And what happened is we tend to forget our marriage. And at the end, what happened is it's the marriage that is suffering.
Yes. Yes.
And then it happens I spoke to a lot of pastors that have started and planned churches, And they said one of the things that they said is make sure, and even there, when you go do the training, they even said something that you need to make sure before you do the planning church, make sure your relationship or your marriage is okay.
Yes.
Because if your marriage is not okay, listen, what could happen is at the end of probably a year or 2 or 3 years, you might end up in divorce. And there's a lot of statistics that confirms that brand new pastor who's been ordained or who has started to plant a church, they focus so much on the ministry. It says that they married the ministry, but they married the wife, and they neglect the wife or their family.
Yes.
And this is how family get split up, get divorced, and everything. So it is extremely important. It goes both ways with your spouse. You need to do those type of activities with your wife. Listen, my wife and I, we love to do activities. Sometimes, with the situation that's happening, we love to travel. What we do is we're going to take a weekend. It was like, okay, let's go to Toronto. Or we say, let's go to the States. And it's just the travel to go there that it's an activity for us. Or we go to the park, we spend time together, we watch a soccer team playing, and we just sit there and we watch them. Or we take a walk together.
Yes.
This is one of the things. But what would you say to someone, let's say, First Lady, that someone is not interested to do an activity, but the spouse wants to do it? What would you advise?
Well, then it goes back to what you were saying, right? Compromise. So there's a million activities you can do. So you cannot tell me that there's not one activity that you can do with your spouse, right?
Yeah.
Especially if your spouse has that love language, then you have to do it. You have to do it because that's the only way they receive love, they understand love, they understand that you care. So you have to find a way.
Yeah, you have to find a way to compromise. That's what I was, like she said, that's what I was telling you before. You need to compromise. You might not like doing that activity, but just do it. Because if you do that, you might enjoy it. Listen, I'm not good at everything, but I do my best. And sometimes I'm like, I do get not too happy about it. But at the end of the day is she's happy. And I want to see her smile. If you don't know how to do bowling, listen, it's okay, man. I'm not good at bowling either. Listen, I'm like this. I'm not good at all. But I go there to have fun with my wife and so we can enjoy. And after that, you go to a restaurant and you have your own pizza. Or you go to the movie theaters.
Yes.
That's another activity you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, there's nothing wrong to go to the movie theater. I remember growing up. You're not supposed to go to the movie theater. Listen, it's okay to go to a movie theater with your spouse and go watch a movie. I don't know what it is. If it's, I know when Black Panther came out, I went with my wife. It was a date. So sometimes you have to go back to what you used to do when you guys were dating.
Right.
You have to do that. You have to go back. You have to enjoy yourself. It is extremely important to do that, people of God. Listen, the quality time is the second love languages. Quality time, spending time with your spouse. It englobes everything from focused attention, quality conversation, and quality activity.
Yes.
So when you do that, listen, when you try to apply them, it's gonna work. It will help you out. It's not a solution pills. Listen, I don't say it's gonna resolve everything, but it's gonna help you to understand your wife. It will help you to understand your husband. And this is what next week we're gonna go with the other one that is, I believe it's receiving gift. If she wants to make sure, that's why I want to make sure. Next week we're gonna we're gonna talk about receiving gifts.
Yes.
Receiving gifts, and the next one it's the act of services. We're gonna try again to combine the two of them. We're gonna try to make it. We're gonna compress that everything together. We're all hoping that we'll be able to do that. First Lady, what do you want to say before we close? Before we're done, First Lady, go ahead.
Well, thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you for supporting us always. And maybe it's your first time, or maybe it's not your first time, but we're glad that you are here. And before we leave, we just want to give you the opportunity, if you want to partner with us, if you want to support us in the ministry, let's get real. Ministry takes money.
Yes.
Period.
Yes, it does.
Period. So
it does.
if you want to support us, if you want to, encourage us, so we're gonna put the information to sow a seed, to give a donation, just give with your heart. There's no obligation. We don't force anybody. We're not gonna we're not gonna beg either, but we just want to speak from the heart.
Yes.
And if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, if you want to encourage us and keep pushing into this ministry, we would love to receive a donation from you.
So the information is down below. I want to say hi to my good friend, Mr. Vanek.
Yes.
Brother V, what's up, bro? I'm so happy to see you. Jos, what's up? I'm happy to have you in our live. So the information is down below, right there. If you can see it, let me do that like this.
Yes.
So by e-transfer, it's info@krmi.org.
Yes.
You put the password, it's KRMI. And to my fellow American people, if you want to sub to, it's paypal.me/KRMINTL.
Yes.
Very soon we're gonna have Cash App and Zelle. It's gonna be easier for our American friend with people, because PayPal has those huge fees. But we're gonna have Cash App and Zelle very soon for the ministry, where you're gonna be able to sow your seed.
Yes.
And I want everybody, if you want to follow us on our page book, it's Kingdom Revival Ministry International, or it's just KRMI, and you're gonna find us there.
Yes.
So we are so delighted to have you. Another thing I wanted to say to you, I'm gonna be preaching, not preaching, but I will be doing a training in Pakistan. I'm not traveling there. I'm just gonna be I believe it's gonna be through Skype. I'm
Yes.
gonna be training pastors in Pakistan. So whatever donation you want to give us, it's because those pastors didn't have no mean. This is how they live. They live by faith, expecting God to do something. So the pastor down there wanted to do a training for them, to train those pastors to how to handle ministry, how to handle certain things. So I was asked to train them and to talk about how they're gonna identify if they're being called to the ministry.
Yes.
What it's all about, what is ministry. Talk about the gift of the Spirit, the spiritual gift, and how they need to handle certain things. So I'm gonna ask everyone, if you can, when you sow that seed, you can put on the message, this is for the training for the people in Pakistan. If you can do that, that'll be awesome. Next week, what I will do is I will probably take 5 to 10 minutes. I wanted to prepare it today, but we're gonna do it next week. So next week, I'm gonna show you the pictures of the pastor, of the work that he does in Pakistan. And the people in Pakistan are getting persecuted. Persecution is in a all-time high down there.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you, people of God, to pray for the people of Pakistan. And I'm going to be doing the training there. And I'm speaking to another pastor there, and he's sharing me stories. And let me tell you something. It's really sad what is going on there. And last time, I think there was a Christian that died, and they led her to die. She passed away. And it's really sad. I saw the picture, and it was really sad. So everyone, if you wanted to support us, that'll be amazing. That'll be great. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, and we are on Instagram.
Yes.
And we are excited, people of God. I don't want, if First Lady has one last word before we turn off the live, go ahead, First Lady.
I just want to remind everyone that last week we discussed words of affirmation.
Yes.
And today we spoke about quality time.
Yes.
And so what is interesting about all of this is that, there's not one better than the other.
No, true.
It's all
Oh, wow.
about
Yes.
It's all about what's best for you and your spouse, right?
There you go.
So that's why we encourage you, take the quiz. It's a free quiz.
It is free.
And it's going to tell you right away what kind of love language you are. And it goes also with your personality, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I encourage you to do that. Take the quiz. And yeah, that's it.
So next week, what we'll do is we're going to pin the quiz on next week. We're going to pin it. Do the quiz, man. You're going to have fun.
Yes.
All right, people of God, thank you so much. We are so excited to have you. Let me see. Yes, the love languages. Yes, Mr. Barnett, it's the love languages. It's a must-read book for everyone.
Yeah.
If you're about to get married, I will advise you to read this book. If you're married, I will advise you to read.
For sure, it's a must.
It's a must.
Yes.
It's a must read, everybody. We read it years ago, and I think there was some update on it. And now there's more books. There's even the 5 love languages for the kids. There's the 5 languages for single people, and there's love languages for the family.
Yes.
So the author is Dr. Gary Chapman. You can go on Amazon, order the book. Just go on Google, tap Dr. Chapman, or just tap the 5 love languages, and you will see the book. He has a website. He has a workbook. He has the whole kit to help you out if you're about to get married.
Yes.
Beautiful of God, thank you so much. God bless you. Let me do this quick prayer with you before we leave. Heavenly Father, we want to say thank you so much. Thank you for this day. Thank you for everything, Father. And as we're about to close, I'm asking you, Father, that you bless every single person that was there, that listened to us, and the people that will watch the replay. I'm asking you, Father, that you bless them, bless their family, bless their marriage, bless their kids, bless everything that they touch, Father, everything that they will touch. I'm asking you, Father, to turn this into a blessing. We speak and we declare that the blessings of the Lord will be with them until the end of the time. We speak healing to the people that are sick right now. We are thinking of the people that have been that got the COVID-19, Father. We're asking you, oh Lord, to touch them, Father. Touch them. I'm asking you, Father, to bring healing to their body. We are praying for the people, especially for the people in Texas, Father, that went through really a tough time, Father. The weather down there was so hard. People lost their life. People lost their life, Father. People has no more power. There's a crisis down there, but I know, Father, you're going to bring comfort to them. And we're asking you, Father, we speak peace into the life of the people in Texas, Father. And we believe that this week will be a beautiful week, Father. And we declare and decree that we are blessed where we're going, and we are blessed when we're coming back, Father. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. Amen, everybody. God bless you, and we will see you next week. Be blessed.